Good morning, everyone. This is Russell with Russell Does Stuff. I work 6 hours on Monday, 6 hours on Tuesday, and whatever I don't get done on those 2 days, I'll finish up on Wednesday. I'll pull this weed right here. Those are called Caesars, and they have brown little seed pods that stick to your clothes and your dogs and stuff. So, this morning's vlog is about land. I like to buy land. I make offers on land all the time. And we're going to head up the road here towards the woods, and I'm going to show you a piece of property I bought a couple years back and that I sold for a profit, and another property that's being cleared right now that I tried to buy, and the lady should have sold it to me. She ended up selling it to someone else for around the same offer that I offered her. So let's get to it. I got dogs. I lock that up as best I can because people will come over and visit and leave the gate up, or open the gate, I mean, and then I don't want my doggies to get loose. So we're gonna walk by this lot that I tried to buy about 6 months ago, and the lady, I gave her an offer of, I think, $16,000. Morning. Hi. I gave her an offer of like $16,000, and she ended up selling it, I think, for $18,000. So they're clearing it right now. There's a hurricane damage and stuff. It's literally snapped and twisted trees in half. That was 3 years ago that tree was smashed. So I tried to buy this lot, and the for sale sign was right there, and Warren, and I called the number, and the lady, she didn't want a deal. You know, she didn't want to work with me. I made her a fair offer, and she turned it down. I have a good real estate agent named Kate who was working on it for me, but I don't think we were that aggressive with a counter offer. The information I got was they were stuck at 25, but then I found out they'd sold for, I think, 18,000, which I would have paid. I would have paid 18,000 for it. And around the corner here is a lot that I purchased I don't know, 3 years ago. It hasn't been built on. I got a bug in my mouth a second ago. They're out here early. Everything's wet. So I purchased this lot. Not this one. I wanted to get this one here. This lot right here was sold, and someone was going to build on it, but they cleared it and nothing ever happened, so the pine trees are growing back. So my lot that I bought started right about here and went all the way to about here. Yeah, see there's a flag right there. See the flag? The little orange flag right there. This one pine tree behind it is two pine trees growing into one. I thought that was kind of cool. And then there was a pine tree behind it that fell in the hurricane. So I bought this lot for around $7,000 and I sold it for $18,000. I had it, I sat on it for maybe a year and a half and decided that this wasn't going to be a good place to build a house. I had hired a contractor to build me a house there. Before I decided it wasn't a good idea to build a house there, I had hired a contractor and he was going around clearing the lots for his customers and getting the draws and starting houses and not finishing them. And then he used the pandemic as an excuse not to finish up any of the jobs. So he got me for my deposit, okay? And I work with real estate agents and people that represent the builder. So my friend owns I have another real estate agent. He's a friend of mine named Eric. And he was the go-between the builder and me. And I've known Eric 8 or 9 years. We're personal friends, and just happened to be a bad builder. You know, a guy that decided not to care about his customers anymore, and screwed over a lot of people. I was lucky. There's a lady and her husband. I think the husband passed away. They were building a $600,000 house, and he stopped like right in the middle of making her house. I'll go over there one day and I'll video it and show you how this guy wrecked this lady's dreams. But when I got involved with the builder, I made sure that he couldn't hurt me, okay? He only got me for my deposit on this property, which I was lucky. Once he had started building and stuff, he would have been taking draws off of my mortgage that I was going to take out on it. And that was the plan. I was going to get a mortgage for $225,000. The house was going to be 4 bedrooms, 2-car garage, and an office with vaulted ceilings and stuff for $225,000. And that was going to be the first of 10 houses I was going to build. I was using my lawn mowing money to do this stuff with. The house I bought and paid off that I'm in now was going to become a rental. And I was going to move into that other house, and that was going to be home base for the other builds. I was going around and I was going to buy up 9 more lots. Then the pandemic hit and we had all these issues with supplies, materials, contractors flaking out on their contracts and stuff. And in the state of Florida, it's hard to go after these contractors. The guy that screwed me over, his name's Jim. And he went to work with his son. So he's working under his son's license right now. And he's tied up in a lawsuit right now. Will anything happen to him? I don't know. I asked my friend's brother probably a month ago, you know, what's going on with Jim, and he says he didn't even want to talk about it because that's how bad of a situation it became. A lot of people were affected and hurt and harmed by this guy, and I was mad about it for 6 or 7 months. It terrorized me, thinking this guy did that to me, you know. And he called and introduced himself. Hi, I'm Jim. I'm not going to say his last name. And thanked me for picking him to build my energy efficient house. And we had a nice conversation. Then the next conversation I had with him, when he decided to pull that hanky-panky stuff, he cussed me out up and down, called me horrible names, said things to me that you're not supposed to say to people. You know, I think I had a full-on panic attack because this guy's got my money, you know. And he said he was going to put a lien on my property and all this horrible stuff. And he spent more time being mean to people than he did helping people. He sent me a bill for all this money, saying he did this and this and that and that and this and that, all the processes and stuff. And I still have that letter somewhere. I'm just waiting for him to get locked up. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. But I figured it out and I moved on. I've decided to buy property in North Carolina area, the northern Georgia area, on the other side of the mountains, and get away from some of this stuff. The contractors down here, there's some good ones, but I've noticed it's not like the old days. The contractors, they want your deposit down here, and then they put a noose around your neck. Being an entrepreneur isn't easy. You have to try your best and use everything your mom and dad has taught you to read some of these people that you're hiring to work for you. And it's like hard. I wanted to pour a concrete slab for my building. I couldn't find anybody that wanted to do it. And if they did want to do it, they wanted a lot of money. I hired a guy that I helped during the hurricane, helped him rescue his dogs and stuff because his house was going to flood. He poured my slab and treated me about the same as Jim Mara treated me. I said his name. I said his last name. That's the contractor. And I'm going to leave it in. I let it slip. I'm going to leave it in. I may say the other guy's name too. His name's John. But take my experiences and learn from them. I've had a lot of victories, a lot of successes. I was at a friend of mine's house last night, dropping him off some dinner. I like to cook for people once in a while, and it was his night, and I made him barbecued chicken. And it was his turn to get a meal from Russell Does Stuff, because Russell likes to cook. And when there's just two of us, you know, sometimes you buy enough food for 3 or 4 people, and I'll share. And I talked to him. I was talking to him about the Jeep Scrambler, and he said, Russ, people lie. Everybody lies, you know. I said, well, this guy said he detailed the whole thing. He went through it. It didn't leak and all that. And he goes, Russell, everybody lies. And I'm always looking for the good in people. It's like this guy, Jim. this was going to be an amazing experience in my life. I worked hard and saved up the money, and I had a goal of paying that house off, in 3 or 5 years. I was in a good price point. Now that house, if I had to build that house now, it's close to $500,000. I knew that. I knew as soon as I got that house built, it was going to be worth 100 and something more. And I got kind of a little bit of deal on it because of who I knew and who they were working for, So don't ever give up. I'm not giving up because contractors have done bad things to Russell Does Stuff. And bad things aren't always happening to me. There's a lot of good things that happen to me. But I'm buying and selling things. Every time isn't going to be a home run. It's going to be a rocky road. I used to watch that show Dallas on TV. They never had smooth transactions with anything. I know it was fictitious, but they tried to, portray business as best they could. But I'm not the only one this stuff happens to. My wife's got friends who had their house built, and their house is brand new, and it's falling apart. The quality's down. Everybody's having issues with contractors, and there's a housing boom going on. It's been going on for about 3 years. A house is going to go up on that lot that I tried to purchase. That someone might live in it, or someone might try to sell it. But right now, the market is going down. There's too many houses in Florida that were being built. So, are you getting a deal when they're knocking off 30% of this new house? How much lower is it going to go before things settle? I don't know. So when I had the builder lined up for that house, I was timing the market. Okay. I got in before the lot skyrocketed to $25,000. I've bought 2 lots like that. I bought one for 6 and one for 7. And they've gone up to 25. And there's a builder that'll pay that, and they'll build a house on it. It's things I've noticed in the area since I drive around a lot. There's a lot of new homes that are sitting. They're getting real estate agents to go in there and try to sell them. And if they can't sell them, they're trying to lease them. And nothing's moving. Nothing's being leased. Nothing's being sold. Their house here and there is being sold. And then you mix in all the houses that are older that are for sale. Those are everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's a house for sale, and they're on the market for over a year or more. So I had a victory when I sold that lot. It made up for the deposit I lost. I made a nice profit on it. He didn't hurt me like I thought he was going to hurt me. All he did was hurt my pride. And I moved on. I tried buying this lot right here. I tried buying another lot down the street. I'm not going to stop doing what I want to do and being me because people have done, stuff to me. Now, they're going to leave a lot of these trees, hopefully. There's a new law that says that they can leave a bunch of trees, but most of them are going to disappear. And that's all right. I like it when they leave trees. So learn from my lessons. You can really vet the people you do business with to a certain point. The guy had no criminal record or nothing. He had 10 houses that were being built. He even had one that was finished that I went and looked at. So I'm up and rolling. I don't let these people affect me. Even the guy that did my culvert here. There's a big pipe that starts from here and goes all the way over to here. All the way to there. It's covered by grass because grass is growing. I didn't have the tools to get that all level and where it's supposed to be and stuff, because that is in the area of public works. So when you build something, you've got public works, you've got the cities permitting and all that and all their regulations. So you got public works, which, because this is a public road, you need drainage, you need the proper size pipe, you need to have the pipe installed right, you need to have it wrapped right, you need to have a lot of things done right in order to pass the requirements that will allow you to have this. I hired a guy who works for a company called SOS. He's another bad guy. And I hired him a year and a half ago. Gave him a deposit. Gave him a lot of money. I said, you know, let's get the pipe in the ground. That's the way. I'll come over and put the pipe in the ground for you, and we'll get rolling. It was easy. Put the pipe in the ground, call for a permit inspection, get it inspected, make sure it's all right, cover it up, put the slab on top of it. It was easy peasy. It took me a year to get this. I had to do this myself. Okay, I poured this myself. He took my money, and every Saturday I'd call him, where you at? What's going on? Where are you at? He said, you're going to put my pipe in the ground and get me rolling. I got to get across my property because there's a ditch there in order to get my building built. And sorry if this video is going long. And he kept giving me excuses. I'm with grandkids, or I'm doing this and that, and blah, blah, blah. Well, come to find out, his business wasn't doing that good, and he had to get a job with SOS. And he didn't have time to do this, but he had my money. So what am I going to do? So I had to wait. I waited on him. And then finally, after a couple stern conversations with him from Russell Does Stuff, he hired some other guys to come out here and put the pipe in, dig it out with the excavator, get the pipe all level with the leveling machines and how far it needed to be and all that. And then he wanted more money. I said, all right, we're going into phase 2 now. So I gave him $4,500 more. So he's gotten $3,500 and $4,500. I said, when are you going to put my slab in? When are you going to put my slab in? Months went by. And I told him, he goes, well, I'm going to get in there and I'll form it up. I said, look, man, you got me. Keep my money. I don't want anything to do with you. Goodbye. So I called my friend Greg up. I said, Greg, we need to frame this up. I got to pour this slab myself. So my friend Greg came over with his brother and another friend of mine. We formed it up. We poured the slab. Cost me another $2,700 or so. And I gave Greg's brother a couple bucks for helping. This is a one-man job, but 2 men, 3 men make it go a lot better. So that's what we did. We poured it up. It looks nice. There's no cracks in it. We didn't even have to cut lines in it. It's fiber cement. We did it the right way. We had fun. We made good memories. And I see that guy in that SOS truck. He doesn't know Russell that does stuff has a YouTube channel. But I see him. I saw him like a month ago. The guy's got a permanent grin on his face, you know. But I moved on. It's tough with contractors here in Florida, okay? That's why I have an attorney. You need to have an attorney and a real estate agent, and you need to do stuff like that nowadays, you know, especially here in Florida. I just don't know. Is it something in the water or what? Because when I was growing up, people didn't do business like that. And I still do business the way I used to do business a long time ago, like the Scrambler. The guy said he detailed the whole thing. It's immaculate. It's spotless. There are no issues with it. I had a dentist lie to me. Okay. It was hard to uncover his lies with just a flashlight. I'm trying to negotiate the price of a very expensive vehicle, trying to make sure I get all the parts together. You know, there's that level of stress going on right there. But I can overcome that. I was in bed last night. I'm happy that it's something that isn't costing more money. That's something I can do, you know, with some elbow grease and some degreaser and some time, you know. Hello, how you doing? Don't wreck your bicycle. So, overcome. I'm overcoming. And you move on. These people they're a dime a dozen. Be careful who you contract with. They've got more rights and more power than you do. I'm going to do a video on the 5, 6, maybe a $700,000 house. I might do it today. I'm fired up right now. You know, don't let the past bother your present. So, well, I've overcome a lot of things, and you can make up for your losses with time. And like I said in one video, everything, it's a number. You have 10 Burger Kings and 3 of them aren't doing good. The other 2 will make up for the losses that you have. I've overcome these losses a year or so ago, you know. And that's fun. I'm not going to cry about this anymore. There's nothing I can do. What is done is done. People are going to think, oh, I make bad decisions. No, this is just how it is. It's literally impossible to find good people to come and work and do stuff for you. Or that job's too small, they don't want nothing to do with it, you know. But when there's no food on those contractors' plates, oh, they'll tell you all sorts of stuff. And then they get busy, and then they don't care about you no more. So I said that contractor's name. None of it's a lie. None of it's BS. It's all the truth. And that's the way it is on this channel. I'm not like those other channels, those other influencers that'll lie to you about stuff in order to get your attention. Maybe you guys can learn something from my experiences, because I dipped my toe in the water, all right? And I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. I may tell you who the guy's name is who did my concrete slab in my shop. His first name's John also. He got a Bible name, and he did that to me, all right? And then that clown, I might tell you his name also. They're not going to do anything to me because it's the truth, you know? We speak the truth here on Russell Does Stuff. So start you a YouTube channel and let everybody know what's going on in your life. It's good therapy. All right, well, I'm going to end this video, and I wanted to share with everybody the property that I bought down the road that I did make a profit on. No house was built on that property, and I explained the reason for that. All right, well, if you like this kind of stuff, hitting the like button helps, and the subscribe button helps also. And if this isn't your thing, you know, help a guy out and hit the subscribe button, and I appreciate you stopping by. Till the next time.